Do you think that the United States stock market is priced fairly at this moment, and why or why not? There's certainly a lot of volatility, but I don't think that markets are ever fairly priced in stocks. Otherwise, there'd be no point to try to pick stocks. And when I pick stocks, and when I tell my students in my MBA degree program to pick stocks, we always look out 5 to 10 years. And we look at earnings or cash flow, which is the same thing longer term because they converge. We look at earnings or cash flow in 5 or 10 years. And then we value companies based on that. And so a lot of times people will say to me, Chris, you're crazy to own that certain stock like LinkedIn, which I owned years ago. You're crazy to own LinkedIn at 100 times earnings. And I would say, well, I'm not cray-cray, because it's only 4 times earnings based on my earnings estimates in 5 or 10 years. And so, as Warren Buffett said, the longer the view, the wiser the intention. Now, I want to teach you a quick little trick. And I'm not telling you which stocks to buy or sell, because I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish humbly if I can. But I learned this trick from a guy I worked for, the guy that hired me at 2 great hedge funds, Citadel as well as Pequot. And his name is Carson Levitt. And what Carson taught me is this, and he's very sophisticated, but he has some very simplistic stuff that has helped me tremendously investing. And Warren Buffett loves to keep it simple as well. What you do is this, you pull up the quote of any company. Okay, so I pull up the quote here for Boeing, ticker is BA. And then what you do is you look at a stock over the long run. And you look at a recent point over the past couple of years or so where the stock was lower. And you got to ask yourself, are things as good or as good now as they were back then? If not, there's a chance the stock could revisit or retest those lows unless they've had explosive earnings growth, which we know right now in this environment is not the case. So with this example here, and I just pull up a random stock, right here, when it was $340 not too long ago, you could have told yourself, well, are things better today for Boeing than they were back here? And if the answer is no, then it could revisit those lows. And that's a backdoor way, a simplistic way of saying that earnings estimates might be a little bit too high at this point. It doesn't work perfectly, but it's a great sanity check to use, kind of like the Senate, which is a sober second look in most countries. When you do fundamental research, I want you to look out longer term. I want you to value the company based on your earnings estimates longer term. And I want you to build a financial model. And I can teach you this as well in my MBA degree program or my Udemy courses. And as always, if you have questions about individual stocks and how to value companies and how to do research, please let me know, and thank you.